Hi, I'm Dr. Sudhakar here. I have with me the budding hoteliers from Bachelor of Hotel Management as well as Diploma in Hospitality Management. We are here to participate in your focus group discussion in order to list down the problems which are there in the hotel industry. Now, I'm going to ask the students to list down the problems which are there in the hotel industry which you had observed during your industry exposure training. The other section of the project will have brainstorming discussion, you will have interviews, you will have surveys in order to develop solutions for the problems what you are going to identify in these sections. To begin with, few instructions which I like to give it to all the students of here. The problem could be related to your product, or it could be related to your service, or it could be related to your process, or it could be related to your particular policy. There is no restriction with regards to the departments where you can able to select while providing the problems for this particular section. It could be related to housekeeping, it could be related to security, or it could be related to human resources, learning and development, purchase, whatever it may be. This brainstorming session, the focus group interview, is going to be exclusively reserved for understanding what problems are being faced in the hotel industry, especially in the Indian context. That too specifically in Bangalore, since like most of us, most of you have been did your industrial exposure training in Bangalore, and about this year we have done this industrial exposure training in Maldives. So we are going to get your perspective of Indian as well as in the international context. Okay? So who would like to go first? You can tell me the first problem as you are telling the problem. I am going to discuss with you. And write down on the board, finally we will have an exhaustive list so that you as a future hoteliers, you will be able to know what problems are there, what innovation and creativity you can bring in order to fix solutions in order to help the hotels to perform well in the market. So, over to you.
So as I feel, what I face during my training is, I feel that the restaurant, there are no new young people who are there, and they, due to the old people who are there, they are not ready to take as much as risk, and they are not open to changes.
Okay, I will note this problem as lack of human resources in restaurant. Number two, increased comfort zone behavior of employees, right? Two things. One is there are existing people who are there, they do not want to take a lot of efforts more than what is required, and the young people are not there. If the young people are not there, they cannot be having a talent pool where there are good set of learners and there are good set of performers. Very good, Umesh. What else?
So again, in the restaurant itself, there's a big communication barrier that's happening.
Communication barrier in the restaurant. Right. Can you mention as communication gaps?
Yes.
Communication gaps. Is it between employee to the employee or employee to the guest?
Same. It's with both restaurants.
Alright. Communication gaps between employees versus employee versus guest. So there is a communication gap which is actually causing a lot of challenges while executing the operations. What else?
Plus, there is, due to the COVID pandemic, there is low staff as well, because of which there is
Okay.
overburden of work on one individual employee.
Great. That's fantastic. So, lack of available number of required human resources, right? And I list down one more also. Increased stress on existing employees due to shortage of human resources. fantastic, Shirani. So who else like to give it? All right.
Time sense.
Sorry?
Time sense. Times of the work.
Time management
The work.
in the work. People are not following the
Time sense.
timings, because of which there are a lot of delays happening. All right. So number one is lack of time management. Lack of time management among employees, right?
Yes, sir.
Among employees. Fantastic. What else?
So
What else? About from the international perspective?
I'm not sure if this is the same over here, but
You can-
the resorts I worked in, we had like 9 outlets, and out of that, 2 of the outlets have like very big menus of around 30 pages, and the chefs have to prepare meals and for all majority of dishes, and due to COVID, we don't have that many guests as usual.
Correct.
So most of the dishes that's being prepared in the morning usually goes to waste.
Right.
So due to the large menu,
All right.
preparation,
Increased food waste. Food waste due to large menu and low demand. Is it correct, Abba? Have I did I get it correct? There is a large menu, there is a low demand, they do the mise en place, and it's not getting sold, it leads to food wastage, right? Alright, what
There
is?
is no real-time update on the PMS regarding the room status.
Alright, fantastic. It's related to the technology. Lack or I would say delay in update in PMS, especially with regards to billing to F&B, right?
Even the room status also.
Room status also.
Housekeeping room status.
Housekeeping room status, okay. Housekeeping room status, fine. Then what else? Minibar consumption.
Correct.
Minibar consumption, minibar. Due to which there is a possibility of bills getting missed at the time of settlement. Alright. So what else? What else? Low stipend for the industry exposure rating. Fantastic. Low stipend for industrial exposure training. Alright.
And long working hours for the training.
Alright. Long working hours. Long working hours. Alright. Long working hours. What else?
Lots of tests.
Lot of pests in the operations, okay? I would say increased presence of pests and insects. Is it inside or outside? Oh, inside.
Inside the kitchen.
Inside the kitchen.
Inside the hotel premises, alright? What else?
So the duration of the food being ready is taking time. So there's a rift between the F&B person and the kitchen all the time in the kitchen.
There is a delay in preparation of the food and servicing of the food to the guests, right? Alright. Delay in service due to lack of efficiency between F&B production and F&B service.
So
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What else?
So there is no enough stock enough fast stock to run the operation.
Lack of,
Equipment.
I would say CCG inventories or even linen also.
Linen also.
Lack of equipments
And linen.
and linen to run the operations. Fantastic. What else?
Not giving real-time exposure in the front office to the trainees.
What
Because
is
they're the
lack of efficiency in providing an opportunity for IETs to learn. In particular, front of the house operation, right?
Yes, sir.
The house, alright. What else?
There's also
There is a conflict between the departments. Alright.
Departments that needs to work together. So
Conflict between close coordinated
departments.
departments. For example, front office and housekeeping, F&B production and F&B service. Fantastic.
Theft in the bar.
Theft in the bar. Fantastic. Theft in the bar. Alright. Theft in the bar. What else?
So the staff, the quality of the staff food is not that great.
Quality of
Fantastic.
staff food not up to the mark. Right? What else? How about business? Business. Have you observed any problem related to business problems?
So what they promise to the guest, it is not delivered. Like for example, if they promise that they are keeping green salad and curd together, but both is not kept.
Alright.
Like this.
Okay. Lack of
Promise.
fulfillment of promise. Lack of fulfillment of promise. Promise service to the guest, right?
Yes.
Promise service, right? What else? Go ahead.
So this loyalty program is
Loyalty program.
But this loyalty program is mostly targeted towards repeating guests.
Right.
But due to this, the resort is losing a lot of revenue because they're giving a lot as complimentary just to be
Right. Alright. I will mention as low profitability due to discounts given for loyalty programs. Fantastic. Alright. What else? What else? One more.
Departments, other departments not having proper guest history because of which multiple mess ups or mishaps happen with
Fantastic.
giving the
Fantastic.
service.
So, lack of knowledge
Yes.
on guest. Fantastic. So far, one more you like to add on? Yeah.
So we have SLPs in every resort.
Right.
In the resort I work in, they were in front office we have butlers, and butlers are usually given free rein to do their work,
Right.
which results in various supervisory extension. So SOPs not exactly followed to the dot.
Alright. Not following the SOPs. Right. Lack of, I would say, compliances to the SOPs.
No accountability.
Yeah. And lack of accountability. Right. So today, our budding hoteliers have clearly identified the problems which are existing in the hotel industry, and it's very important all these problems need to have a solution which is going to be a confirmed one which will not repeat the same problems again in the hotel industry. So our budding hoteliers are going to now classify a particular problem, whether it is related to a product, service, or whether it is related to a policy, or whether it is related to a practice. Can we take the first example? Lack of in HRs in restaurant. It is related to policy. Related to the policy. We can say it is related to policy as well as practice also. Even though practice, the policy says that a lot of new people should be brought in, sometimes the HR manager will not do it. So you can have this particular problem that related to policy or a practice related aspects in a hotel industry. Let us take the second problem. Increased comfort zone behavior of employees is easily related to the practice. It is related to the practice. So definitely related to the communication gaps between employees and guests. Practice. It is related to the practice. Lack of available number of required human resources. Policy, mostly policy. Increased stress on existing employees due to the shortage of human resources.
Policy and practice.
Policy and practice. Policy and practice. Fantastic. All right. Lack of time management among employees. It's a practice. Exactly. Increased food waste due to large venues and low demand.
Product
Policy.
management.
Increased food waste due to large menu and low demand. It is related to the product also. Menu here is the product. Large menu is the product. Food wastage and low demand is related to the practice.
So this practice.
And also we can say policy also. We can say policy also. Why I'm saying it is a policy? Because as Abbas said, they have a large menu. It is important that they have discipline for all as per the practice, as per the policy. Alright? So we have all three in this. Lag or delay in updating PMS. Very much related to the practice. No stipend for IT. Straight to the
Even policy was
policy. Exactly the policy. If the policy is that the ITs are supposed to be paid more, obviously they'll get it. Long working hours. Policy as well as practice. Even though the policy says that it is supposed to be only for 9 hours, does it happen in reality?
no sir.
Not at all. Increased presence of pests and insect inside the hotel premises.
Practice and policy.
Exactly, both. Practice as well as policy. There should be a policy on how the pest control has to be done, and there should be a practice to adhere to the policy so that the presence of the pest can be easily reduced or completely eliminated from the operations. Delay in service due to the lack of efficiency between F&B and F&B service. Definitely this is related to the practice. Lack of equipments and linen to run the operations. Policy as well as practice. Policy and practice. Lack of efficiency in providing an opportunity for IT to learn, in particular in the front of the house. Policy as well as practice. If there is a policy, they are supposed to adhere, but even though there is a policy and people are not doing it because they say that work pressure. Conflict between close coordinated departments. Definitely it's a practice. Theft in the bar. Is it related to the policy or related to the practice?
Both sir.
Yeah, there should be a policy, foolproof policy where theft cannot happen by a hotel. I have the mechanism. And people are supposed to ensure that the policy what is there is being followed. Okay? So, policy and practice. Alright? Policy and practice. Alright? Quality of staff, food not up to the mark.
So that even the policy is set and is foolproof.
Right.
Not that the staff will follow.
That is why the practice is required. There should be some auditing mechanism to ensure that staffs are checked whether they are adhering to the standards which is set with regards to ensuring the safety and security of the guest amenities or their belongings, right? Quality of staff, food not up to the mark.
Practice.
Policy and
Even policy also can be applied.
I don't think that there will be any policy where people say that give you no food. It depends upon the person who is involved in cooking itself.
because they have a policy that
I agree.
says that
I agree. Definitely.
eat a healthy food for the staff, because if the staff
Yes.
is sick, then there's no productivity in the
Absolutely.
work.
That is policy also.
Policy.
So, apart from designing the menu, there should be a policy which says that the taste of the food should be checked. Health aspects of the food has to be checked. Then definitely that may result in the practice also. A lack of fulfillment of promised service. Definitely practice. Low profitability due to discount given for loyalty program. Policy. Definitely dislike to the policy. They are giving the discount just because the loyalty program says it, right? Then a lack of knowledge on guests. It's a practice. I would say, to a certain extent, it is related to the policy also. Why I am saying this is, the learning and development department should have a policy once a particular guest is checked into the hotel. all the head of the department should be briefed. From the head of the department, it should go to the manager. From manager, it should go to the supervisor. And any employee, if they want to know who are the guests staying in the hotel, in a click of a button, the moment they put the guest name, they should be able to have the details. Is there a policy like that? Is there a practice like that existing in the hotel?
Right now it is not.
It's not that. If your waiter want to know immediately the complete history of the guest while the guest is studying in the restaurant, is there an option?
No.
Not at all.
He'll have to go all the way to the front of
Front office to
ask
check.
them.
Alright. Lack of compliance
Sir.
to SOPs.
To put a word on it, there is a practice where the guest photo is put in the WhatsApp group and told to the other
Is it for all the guests?
No, only for the VIP.
Only for the VIPs. As a hotel, if they are aspiring to achieve 100% satisfaction, I really think that all your guests should be given with the equal focus. Then only it is possible for them to fulfill. Yeah.
So we have something like that. What we do is we give out a phone call and see.
Right.
It's like a my seminar program. So this is basically guest history and what exactly they want before they're at.
For all the guests?
All the guests.
Is it in digital form or in the digital form?
So if
Fantastic.
the guest fills it, it will be sent to the main group where all the team leaders are there.
Right.
So anyone can access it and see the.
Great. So in the international perspective, in Maldives, people are following it. I think the culture can very well come to India so that our guest satisfaction score in Indian hotels can go up. Alright? Lack of compliance to SOPs and the lack of accountability. Both policy as well as practice. Both policy as well as practice. If we look at predominantly all the problems which you all have identified, it is related to the practice followed by the policy. It clearly indicates that the employees who are working in the hotel need an excellent learning and development program, motivational program, monitoring program to meet the required standards set by the hotel in order to achieve the business vision and mission. In the coming sections, our budding hoteliers are going to select some of the problems listed here using the focus group discussion method or an interview method or in a survey method. They are trying to develop solutions which can be recommended to the hotel industry as part of the project work. I request all the budding hoteliers to look at the video once and say thank you.
Thank you.